Hello, hello, lovely Bridgelea people. It's me, Emma, your artist, and we're going to carry on with our painting challenge that we have already started. So, let's go. Our project is based on steam trains because that's what we're doing in our history this term, and we're basing it on Lowry, the artist that we're being inspired by, and we're taking inspiration from this painting here called The Level Crossing. Okay, my friends, let's get started. So for our challenge, we broke down the painting into different areas. The background, which is all the houses, the middle ground, which is the railings and the train, and then we've got the foreground, which is all the people. And it's the foreground that we're going to be working on in this session, doing all the lovely people in that style, the matchstick style of L.S. Lowry. Let's go with that then. So in my version of the painting, I drew out all the little people separately on cartridge paper, and you could do the same if you wanted to. But as this isn't a drawing project, it's a painting project, again, I've drawn these out for you if that's what you want to use. It will probably be a good idea also to have Lowry's original painting, so you can look at that as you're painting. The other things we need is our watercolours with the no, with only the white, black and the primary colours that we can use. And we're just going to mix up our first colour in the lid of our paint tin. We're making a flesh colour, skin colour. So we're using white and yellow and a bit of red. If you want to do darker tones, you can go darker, add a little bit of black to it as well. However you want to do it's fine. So if you see here, I'm just loading up lots of white, a little of the yellow, and then a tiny bit of the red, and mixing that together until I get a colour I'm happy with. So just play around until you've got something you're happy with. I've put a bit of black in there as well to knock it back. Now I'm going to use the finer brush now because all our shapes are quite small, and I'm just going to put those in as a wash, and I'm doing the faces, the legs and hands of the children where you can see the legs are out and their little hands, and everybody's faces. So I'm just adding that. You might want to stop and start the video like we did in the previous session, where you can just paint the bit that I'm doing at the same time, or you can just carry on watching. But as you can see here, we're just concentrating on the hands and the faces and the legs of the children in that flesh colour. Then we're ready to move on to our next colour. And there isn't much colour in here. There's just the red of the girl's jacket. But if you want to change any of the colours of their clothing, you go for it. You mix your own colours. It doesn't have to be everyone wearing those dark sombre blacks if you want to make it more colourful. I'm going to stick to the original, but that's fine if you don't want to. So I've just put in the red of the child's top and the child's socks, and very important, red of the flag of the signalman who's signalling that the train is coming past, and he's got a little bit of red on his scarf. So that's pretty well it for colour. I'm going to go with the black, but as I say, if you want to get them in jazzy, nice, bright colours, you can do that, not a problem at all. I'm going to stick to the original though. So what I'm doing here is I'm using the black with a little bit of the water to have a wash. I'm not doing it the darkest colours all at once, because if you look at the painting, you can see again, like with the train, there were darker bits which were very black, and there were little flecks of white showing shapes and forms, and there were greys as well that Lowry used. So I'm doing the same here, just building up using just the black and some water for the lighter colours, leaving areas white where I don't want any paint at all, and then building it up to be much, much darker as I layer on more black. I've just added a little bit of yellow for the girl's hair, and I'm doing lots of the black finishing and outlines, because Lowry did outlines in black in his painting as well. That's about it for painting the people. All you need to do is to write your name on and leave that to dry, because now we're going to go back to our original painting of the background, because what we haven't done is these last details. We've got all our houses and sky in, but we need to put in the railings and the lines of the tracks. So we're just going to use black with this, and we're just going to begin to draw on those lines. We're practicing doing thick and thin lines, and if you look here you can see that I'm resting the side of my hand on my paper, which helps. Now if you don't have the confidence to do long sweeping lines like I did to begin with, you can just do little lines going down, sort of sketching like you do with your pencil, and that's fine too. Don't worry about it, just relax, get those lines in, and if it goes wrong, use the dry brush technique. Dry off your brush, soak up the colour and see if you can pull it back. Really don't worry, my lines are a bit wobbly and so were Lowry's. There we go. Lovely, that's all our background and our foreground lines all put in and we're done. So now what we're going to do is we're going to cut out our train. And I've slowed this down because I want to show you the way I cut. I always keep my scissors pointing forwards, pointing in the same direction. And I actually move my piece of paper around. I don't twist my scissors around because that gets a much better cut. Also not cutting right up to the edge of the paint. I'm leaving a little white line all the way round. That also helps in case I make mistakes. And I'm going to do the same with the people, cutting around, leaving spaces and gaps. They don't have to be perfectly cut out. And when we're done with the cutting, we can lay them out and make sure that they fit onto our painting in the foreground. When we've laid these out, we're going to do one last tiny bit of painting because we need to add some dogs. Lowry often put cats and dogs in his paintings, so we're going to put in the little dogs here. And they're very simple. Remember, these are just matchsticks. Blob for the head, blob for the body, little lines for the legs and tails. Very nice. Now, when you finish with the layout and the little dogs, you're ready to stick everything down. You're going to use a glue stick. First of all, glue down your train and then glue the people over the top. Middle ground first and then the people in the foreground. Lovely work, everybody. And remember, now you've finished, don't worry if there's bits that you don't like. There'll be bits you do like. This was just a challenge. This was just to see what happens. So I hope you enjoyed it and I'm looking forward to seeing you again next half term. Bye, 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 bye.